Lingy, the January transfer window is just about drawing to a close. How would you assess the month as a whole?
Yeah, I think it's been a successful month. You know, the signings that were brought in earlier in the window, and the two that were made today in the areas of the pitch that we needed them. We brought another forward player in Randall Williams, who's a player that I've known for an awful long time from his days at Watford, and we've been monitoring for a long time, and pleased to have him in to add another component to the forward department. And then we brought Reg in, who is going to be a right-sided centre-half who comes into the building. Richie's already worked with him before. With the Omar injury, likely to keep Omar out for most of the season, we felt that we needed to put that back up to 4 centre-halves rather than the 3 that we would have. And yeah, we're really pleased with today's dealings as we sit here at nearing the end of the window.
How difficult is it actually? I mean, people talk about how hard January is, but when a situation like Omar comes up and you have to sort of adapt as it goes, how challenging does that make it for you?
Yeah, I think that you're always working the colour grey, and what I mean by that is nothing's ever black and white. We didn't feel we needed, or we would have needed, a centre half if Omar was fit. Once that situation happens, and we know that we've got some big games coming up between now and the end of the season, we've got to make sure we cover it. We've always got players that we're monitoring and watching, but the centre half position is quite weird, and we're earlier in the window we were saying it's the one area that we know that we're very good in and comfortable in with the 4 that we had. So we never looked into that in any great depth. But once Omar got injured, obviously then we started to dive a lot deeper to make sure we get the right personnel that, as I say, that can take us through these last 18 league games, and obviously the City game on Saturday. I think the City game, it sounds stupid, it's probably the least important because most of the players that we're fetching in are going to be cup tied, and we knew that anyway. So it's about them last 18 league games. We win a position in the league which none of us expected, but we are. So we don't want to let that pass us by without at least giving us a push towards being successful and making the playoffs.
Let's talk a little bit about Dylan and Azim, the first 2 signings. How would you assess their first couple of weeks here?
Yeah, it's been good. Dylan's nicked a couple of goals. Azim has got the hat-trick. But also, I look at the integration with the squad and what Richie is happy with the players and, at the training ground, and have they integrated with the squad? Have they made us better? And the answer to that, I think everyone can see it, is yes. And, it's been... You look at it, it's been a window of 5 signings, isn't it? Because you've got Sonny Perkins to come into that as well. But the first 2, they've come in. I think they've both hit the ground running. One can play Saturday in Dylan, and Azim can't, as he's cup tied. But I do believe that they will help us push to where we want to go, and they make our squad a better squad than it was at the start of January. So it's been a really successful window, in my opinion.
And you mentioned Sonny. I think the gaffer said it in his quote when he completed the permanent move that he looks like a different player now to the one when he first joined. How pleasing was it for us to get him in on a full-time basis?
Yeah, let's be honest. Sonny, from a young age, has had nothing but success. He left his football club when he was 14 and went to West Ham. Then he got a 1.5 million move to Leeds. It never really happened for him at Leeds. He had a really difficult loan at Oxford last year, and when he come in, he took a bit of time to settle. He did take a bit of time to settle because he's been playing 21s football. The Oxford experience had scarred him a little bit in terms of, he didn't get picked. He didn't feel he got treated right, and slowly but surely you started to see the quality come out that we all know is there from the West Ham, from the Leeds, and from the player that was 14 here. We sold him, as I say, to West Ham, and it was a slow burner, but he certainly ignited a few flames and was getting better and better and better. And when the option of making him a perm, when we got told that was an option, both myself and Richie were very, very keen to do it, because we only think, if we look at where he's come from in terms of when he first came to us to what he is now, just learning the game in terms of the men's football, we feel he's only going to go from strength to strength. So we was very pleased to get him over the line as well. And
you touched on the 2 lads who have come in this afternoon and this evening. What what are they going to bring to us? Where do you see them fitting in?
Yeah, look, they're both very athletic. You know, as I say, Randall Williams, someone that I've known watching for a long time. From when we tried to take him on loan when he was 18 from Watford, when we was actually in the National League. We thought we had the deal done. It never quite got finished. But yeah, he's got pace. You know, he likes to go around the outside of people. He likes to put quality into the box. And Reg, I'm going to keep saying Reg because he's got a long name. I'll let you enlighten on his long name. But he wants to be called Reg, so he's Reg by me. And yeah, look, he's got pace. He's got someone that we know is a very, very good defender. He's decent on the ball. Can also play as a 2, a right back, and as a 6, as a sitting midfield player as well. But his main position is centre half. And once the gaffer comes to me and says it's someone that he's worked with before, and he wants them, then I don't really ask any questions, because the be-all and end-all, he knows everything about him. Does he fit into what we want? The gaffer says, yeah, we go do our best to get him, and we're really pleased to get him over the line. It's been quite a drawn-out process of getting him over the line, because there was a fee involved, and you know, taking him from Charlton, it's been a difficult negotiations, but we got there. We got there in the end, and you know, when that was sort of signed off, you know, late this afternoon, it was pleasing for all of us to sit there and think, now we're in a position where we're happy with what the squad looks like, and we don't really want anything else to happen to the squad. Hence, that your next question is going to explain why we didn't do anything more with the squad.
So that's the incomings. In terms of outgoings, so Lewis Warrington has gone out on loan to get some important minutes at Salford, but no one else has gone. So what was the thinking behind all of that? Yeah,
look, Lewis, we still feel there's a player in Lewis. You know, there was a couple of options when he went to let him go on a permanent basis. We felt it's better for him to go out on loan, get some game time, come back to us in the summer, and show us what a good player he is. That's the thinking and the planning with Lewis. And look, I'll be open and honest, is that I've got to take my hat off to the board of this football club. We've turned down a 7-figure bid, you know, £1 million bid for one of our players today from a championship club. We feel the player was worth more than that, but the be-all and end-all, I don't make them decisions. I just give my advice and what I think we should or shouldn't do. And to be unfair to say Nigel and the board, they've backed both me and Richie because they've not took the money because they feel that we are in a position where if we let one of our better players go right now, we may miss the boat, you know. And if the option comes again in the summer, we might sell at that stage if they get to our valuation. Our valuation is more than the £1 million, if I'm honest with you. But also, if you do it in the summer, it gives us time to use the money that we make out of the deal wisely. Where if you get this offer come to us, I think there was about 5 hours left of the window as well. So the actual fact of turning the money down, there's also the fact of trying to use the money on 1, 2, 3 players. It just becomes very, very difficult. And if that happens in the summer, it gives us a lot more time to use the money, if it comes to the valuation that we expect, to use that money in a better way and a better way to improve us.
I think more or less every football club in the EFL, we're no different. We do operate at a loss. So turning a significant bid like that down, what does that tell people about the hopes that we've got for the remainder of this season? Yeah,
look, I mean, it's, you know, the last time, I think there's been a couple of £1 million players in the last 25 years, or that's the record fee. I mean, one of them would have been Gabby Sakawani back when I was managing in 93, it might have been. Was it that? Yeah, I'm sorry, no, 2003, not 93. I was still playing in, but yeah. And we got £1 million then, which £1 million was more worth than £1 million today. But also, at that time, that was done during the summer. So if you're getting someone a club is offering you a club record fee for one of your players, you know, you go with what you believe to the valuation of that player to be higher. I think that we can get higher for him, but it still takes. You know, as you say, we run at a loss every year. There's £1 million there that would take a great big hole out of that loss. But it's about, for Nigel and for the people and the board, they want success as well. So it proves. He did say it ain't like turning £1 million a day doesn't mean £1 million won't be there in the summer, but it might never come. It may never come again. But the be all and end all, the decision was made for the good of the football team and the football club that we thought it was better to keep that player than take the £1 million. So as I said at the start, my hat's off to the hierarchy, and I think that both me and Richie at the time were pleased that they made that decision. As I say, we only advise and what we think is right, but they backed our judgment on it, which I'm really, really pleased by.